If you're thinking about moving to Panama and you want to escape the hustle, bustle, noise, and congestion of living in Panama City, you're not interested in moving to the suburbs, and beach life isn't your thing, well, maybe you should consider moving to the land of eternal spring in the mountain town of Boquete. So, in today's video, we're going to talk about why expats, slow travelers, and retirees have been calling Boquete home for years. We'll talk a little bit about the lifestyle, what makes Boquete special, and we'll share some actual housing examples, including a single family home that is currently listed for rent for less than $300 per month. I know, it's crazy. Welcome back to Almost Retired Abroad. If you're new here, I'm Kimberly, and I created this channel to share my journey to live, travel, work, and eventually retire abroad. This is the fourth video in a series of videos I've done about living and retiring in Panama. If you haven't had a chance to check out some of those other videos, I will link them up here and down in the description below so you can go ahead and get caught up. All the videos that I've posted in this series, I've gotten a lot of questions. And one question that comes up in just about every comment section has to do with Boquete. People want to know more about it. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So the first thing that you probably want to know about Boquete is, where is it located? So Boquete is actually located on the western end of Panama, almost to the border with Costa Rica. So if you're coming and visiting from the United States or Canada, or even potentially places in Europe, you're probably going to be flying into Tucumán International Airport within Panama City. And so from Tucumán International Airport, it's probably like a 6.5, 7 hour drive from there to Boquete in Chiriquí province. And so it's not the most efficient way to get there. If you want to get there a little bit more quickly, you'd probably be better off taking a connecting flight from Tucumán Airport into the airport in David. It's about a 1 hour flight from Panama City to David. And then once you get there, you can easily take ground transportation into Boquete, whether you're going to rent a car, take a taxi, or even take one of the buses that run into Boquete. And now, a few things to know about Boquete. According to a recent census, there's a little bit over 23,000 people living in Boquete, and of those people, about 5,000 are expats. And it's not just people from the United States and Canada. It's actually a pretty international expat community. The community is very well established, and so they have all kinds of activities. I'm told that they're very welcoming, and then it's very easy to make friends. You will find all kinds of outdoor activities like whitewater rafting and zip lining and hiking and biking. But if you're not into all those outdoor activities, there's still plenty of other things to do. Because it's an established expat community, you can find things like a walking club, a book club, opportunities to play cards or listen to live music. There's different, when you think about like living in like a retirement community in the US and they have a clubhouse and they have all these activities. Well, the community of expats within Boquete has created all kinds of events. So it's really easy to get plugged in and connected to the community. So what are some things that people like about Boquete? Well, the number one reason that people love Boquete is because it has some of the best weather in Panama. So it is known as the land of eternal spring because it has a very temperate climate, and a lot of that is just due to the elevation. So on average, the temperature in Boquete is around about 70 degrees. And so this means that a lot of people don't even need to use air conditioning. So it's not uncommon for people to just open up their windows during the day and enjoy those nice mountain breezes. And then if it gets a little bit chillier at night, obviously, you're just going to close the windows, throw in a sweatshirt, throw in a blanket, and you should be good to go. And so when thinking about living in Boquete on a longer term compared to living in some place like, say, Panama City or one of the beaches, you're not going to need air conditioning. So that's likely going to affect your utility costs because you can be spending a lot of money on air conditioning if you're living in the city or living by the beaches where they have a much more hot, humid, tropical climate. So despite the fact that it is eternal spring, they do have a rainy season in Boquete as well as a drier season in Boquete. And I'm told that when in the rainy season, it typically rains in the afternoon, like between like 1 and 3 o'clock. So during that time, people tend to get their activities done earlier on in the day. And then they're all wrapped up before the rain comes down in the afternoon. But that rain is the reason why Boquete has such lush landscaping. So from the moment that you enter, you will see all kinds of flowers and nature. It is a very picturesque place, which is probably why so many people fall in love with it. There are a lot of fincas or farms around the area, especially those that are growing coffee. You will find in the Boquete area, there are numerous coffee farms where they grow what is called geisha coffee. And geisha is an internationally renowned coffee blend that is considered to be very high end. And so you can visit any of these different coffee farms and go on tours. But if you're planning on going to stay in Boquete, maybe you're doing a scouting trip, you can actually stay at one of the coffee farms. So actually, if we take a quick look at TripAdvisor of the 10 best hotels in Boquete, the first one they mention is Coffee Estate Inn and Hotel Boutique. So that is a place that you could, actually stay on the coffee farm and enjoy everything that the hotel has to offer while still being in a good location within Boquete, so you can kind of go about your scouting trip. And then there is also another popular place to stay called Finca Panda, which is a coffee farm and luxury casitas. So they actually have these little, studio casitas that you can rent, that you can be on the property of the coffee farm, have all the beautiful views, and then participate in some of the workshops and activities and excursions offered by the coffee farm. Boquete is also a foodie paradise. So they have all kinds of restaurants, including various types of international cuisine. So you are not ever going to get bored with what to eat in Boquete. In fact, just a quick look at a Google map showing some of the restaurants around the city center. You can see there's all different types of food. So we have like a fish house. We have a Mediterranean restaurant. We have Italian, there's Chinese, there's sandwich shops, Japanese, really just about anything that you're looking for, you should be able to find it in Boquete. Also, a lot of the restaurants also have live music. Boquete actually has a pretty big live music scene. And so if you want to just kind of like go out to dinner or go out to happy hour and listen to live music, you'll have plenty of options for that in Boquete as well. They're also well known for having a Boquete Jazz Festival. If you're finding value in this video, please consider giving it a like. It helps YouTube to recommend it to other viewers just like you who are also looking for information about living, traveling, and working abroad. Thanks. Now back to the video. So how much does it really cost to live in Boquete? So this is not obviously a full cost of living breakdown because I don't live in Boquete, and honestly, cost of living is very subjective depending upon your personal expenses and your desired lifestyle. So this is something you'll have to calculate for yourself, but I'll give you an example of a few of the different types of housing styles and some of the housing options within Boquete. So in that city center, if you want to be in the center of the action, they actually do have some different apartments in the city center. So you can have a very walkable lifestyle where you get access to all the shops and restaurants and things that we talked about. They also do have public transportation, including a bus that will take you to David and some of the other areas, as well as some like micro buses that just go around the Boquete area. So that could be potentially an option for you. They also have other varieties of housing styles the further you kind of get out from the city center, where there's, just, modest little humble houses all the way up to multi-million-dollar mansions. There's also some apartments, condos, and condo hotels available for rent. It's important to note that more than 90% of the rentals in Boquete do come fully furnished, which is great because, if you're somebody who's coming down either just to test it out for a few months, maybe you're coming as a snowbird, or a slow traveler, you don't have to worry about packing all the things because you'll have access to that in your unit. Often all or many of the utilities are included as well. So it's not uncommon to have, electricity, gas, and so on included in your rental price. There are units where you can get all that included and sometimes even Wi-Fi as well. So there really are a lot of pluses to living in Boquete, especially if you're trying to kind of streamline some of your costs. As it relates to houses for rent, so here on Encuentro 24, they have about 30 houses listed in Boquete. First, they have a 3-bedroom and 2-bath listed for $1,200 a month. They have a 5-bedroom, 2-bath for $1,500 a month. Then they have a fully furnished and fenced-in house for rent for $800. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 1-car parking. And then we have this one listed at only $290 per month. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. This one, though, is not furnished, so that could also explain why the price is so cheap. We're looking at Encuentro 24, but this is actually not even probably the best place to find rental listings in Boquete. You will find once you're on the ground, word of mouth is a better way to find listings. Also, there's different types of Facebook groups and other, real estate and relocation professionals that can help you to find what type of housing might make the most sense for you. If you're thinking about purchasing a property, really the sky is the limit. You're only limited by your budget and desired lifestyle. So on this website, Casa Solution, they have several properties listed in Boquete for all different price points. So here we have a 3-bedroom, 3-bath that's 2,700 and some square feet for $849,000. You have a full-on coffee estate modern home with 360-degree mountain views on 14.48 acres, listed for $1.45 million. And then, we have some things that are a little bit more modest. I've looked at a number of different real estate related websites, and the cheapest home I was able to find, a new home, was on this website, LP Realty Panama. And this house is listed at $120,000. It is a 450 square meter house that has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So again, your lifestyle can be, as simple or as luxurious as you'd like. Whether you're renting or purchasing, you'd likely be able to find something, hopefully, within your budget. So what do you think? Do you think you might consider moving to Boquete, or maybe one of the areas in Panama is for you? Let me know down in the comments. Also, stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to be answering some of your burning questions. People asked about Boquete. I created this video, but I have a whole video of Q&A. So if there's any questions you want me to answer that I haven't covered yet, feel free to share them in the comments and I'll try to cover them in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.